Hey, it's Boogie with the Bull, Thursday night live, 7:02 on the East Coast. Yeah, we're a little bit late tonight. One of these days I'll learn how to type. The correct link is in the Boogie with the Bull. The correct link is in the Boogie with the Bull, the Boogie Links group over on Messenger. So if you're in the link group, you get it live. If not, it's on the screen right now. Give me a minute to scroll over here. Here. It's over here. It's right here. No, it isn't. Yeah, it is. It's over here. Come on. Come on. Why is it not doing this tonight? There it is. There it is, I think. Yep, there it is. All right, we are live, and we're all set and ready to go. Ichabod Palmer is with us in the house tonight. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dave. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm wore out.
You're wore out? What'd you do today?
Killed 5 beef and slaughtered them and skinned them out and got them hanging in the freezer.
Skinned them out, got them hanging in the freezer.
Yep.
So everybody on your way out, stop in the Boogie with the Bull butcher shop and put your order in, and you'll be all stocked and ready to go. Let's see. Jerry Michaels got an invite. He hopefully will be with us. Jen Woodruff got an invite. Hopefully she will be with us. Steven Tolliver, Nikki Young. And if I forgot anybody, like I said, the link is here on the page. And the link that is here on the page, on the screen, is in fact the right link. And just don't let Jerry Michaels know that I put the wrong link in the group because he's got to go. You know, you've been doing this so long. There's an easier way to do it than you do it. And I apologize, but these things happen. There had to be something that was going to go wrong today. So, the audio was working. Everything else is working. The dogs are kind of barking, but, we'll get by with it. But, Mr. Michaels, how are you this evening?
Here's what I'm going to tell you, Dave.
Okay.
If I know how to do something, the entire planet should know how to do it, Dave. And you don't, and I don't know why. But when I copy and paste the link, which obviously is not here, and I'm looking for it, but
the link's on the screen, isn't it?
No, not on my screen. No. Huh. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't copy and paste it from there.
No, you can't.
Okay. But for regular people like me, I mean, you are high up in the, ecology of the world. Or,
no, I'm not. I'm just higher up than you in Florida.
I see. Okay. Well, that's
geographically speaking. I don't mean in anything else. Just geographically.
I don't really care. It's fine. You could be up high. Everybody's above me. Anyway, how you doing, Steven? Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, buddy. I'm doing good. Wore out,
good,
but I'm doing good. I got to come home.
I hear you.
The wife had a killer supper for me, so I'm pleased with that.
All right, good.
Fresh deer meat. Gotta love fresh deer meat. Fresh zucchini right out of your own garden and corn on the cob.
Is deer referred to as venison?
Yeah.
My brother-in-law got, and I believe it was roadkill, and he was on the list in Massachusetts at the time, and I think he got it a few days before a cookout. And I don't remember how he marinated it, but I swear that was the best steak I ever had. He made a huge amount of venison tips, and God, oh man, it was really good.
She dug deep in the deep freeze because I had the good part of the meat stuck in the bottom, and she found it. But that's all right.
Yeah. I'd like to one of these days maybe get lucky enough to get a bunch of cameras and go out somewhere where someone's doing a controlled hunt and just have cameras all over and broadcast the whole thing live. Like there's Jerry Michaels coming up with his signature Jerry Michaels 22. He's ready to take a shot, followed by him with Ichabod Crane with his 45 It's AR-15.
They actually have
Oh.
videoed hunts on YouTube. If you get on YouTube, you can
Yeah.
watch hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Plus,
think it'd
I'm
be
not
more
going to
fun.
hunt the deer when you're 22, Dave. That's probably not the
Yeah.
greatest plan in the
No,
world.
I know. I know.
Well,
Bullets
unless
have a
you're
tendency
doing it
bounce off muscle,
unless you're doing it illegally,
and then you
and
just
don't want nobody to hear you.
well, that's true. But you better be standing about 7 foot away because 22 bullets they'll bounce off muscle and bone. And when that happens, the deer tends to be irritated with you. So
you shoot it. Hey Jerry, if you shoot a deer in the head with a 22, it'll drop it.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the
I
head.
imagine it will, but you got to also be close enough. And
Yeah, 100 yards. You shoot one 100 yards.
Okay.
My son's done it, so I'm sure he's not know.
Yeah, but you're one of those insane prepper people. Who knows what your 22 could be? A howitzer. We don't know that.
One shot, one kill, buddy. Only takes one bullet. That's all I've used all year.
Actually that's true. I remember that from boot camp. We had got a pillowcase, and it was one of our guidons, and it said 1 shot, 1 kill. Yeah, on a pillowcase. Actually,
I'm waiting for the shit to kick off here in the United States, because if it does, our enemy don't even have a clue, because there is millions of snipers in this country. You know how many deer hunters there are in each state? And they go out, freeze their asses off, sit all day long to shoot a deer and just use one bullet. Now that is dedicated. Now, I feel sorry for our enemy.
well, and it's not just the deer hunters or hunters in general. It's guys that can shoot. Even target guys can shoot. Whether they can shoot at a live target, I don't know. Me personally, I've put a lot of thought into it, and if they're attacking me and mine, I'd have no problem putting a bullet in them, or multiple. Actually, I have more problems shooting like a dog or something than I would shooting a human being trying to do harm to myself or someone else.
Right.
Including that includes my country, my neighbor, all that. I'm no different than anybody else. And I believe I'd sleep like a baby. The only bad part about it is you can't eat them because that's
well,
weird.
You could,
but well, yeah,
You could,
but
do you want to?
I got to tell you. Yeah, I haven't put any thought into that, and quite frankly, I'm going to procrastinate on that till tomorrow. I think Well, there is the old saying, Dave. You get hungry enough, it's been known to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about the plane crashes in the Andes with the soccer teams and
a lot. Wasn't that movie called Alive?
Yeah.
Is that the one about the soccer team that crashed in the Andes?
Yeah, and then you got the old story about Donner.
That's what people actually said. When they realized there was
Donner's Pass. Yeah, Donner's Pass. Yeah,
and I'd probably be the one who was afraid of dying first, and I'd probably tell people, you know what? If God forbid you have to, but if you need to. You
know what? We probably already have some of these fast food joints. You don't know what they put in there. I've heard stories about McDonald's having human meat in their food, so you never know, man. You just never know.
Well, the way
go ahead.
I think you froze.
Well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it did.
The way
there you are.
The way I've heard it is that I don't believe, quite honestly, that I want to know what McDonald's is putting into a burger that I eat anymore. And it's probably because if I did understand it, I probably wouldn't eat it. And for the rare times where Don and I have to be out early and I've got to eat breakfast before a doctor's appointment, I'm driving through and eating a couple of sausage McMuffins because I got to get something into my stomach.
You're a brave man. You're a brave man.
But if I knew what was in my stomach, or if I knew what was in the sausage McMuffin that I was eating, no, I probably wouldn't eat it. I probably wouldn't eat it because I grew up listening to Jewish butchers saying that hot dogs are made out of, unless they're all beef, hot dogs are made out of what is left on the floor at the end of the slaughtering. They just sweep it up and put it into an actual casing and
not all of it, but not all of it. Not all of it, but yeah, that does happen. My daughter worked over at Smithville plant. Yes, that does happen.
Yep. And I can't tell you what goes into a Hostess Twinkie Center because Jerry said he will come to my house and make sure I can't do any more broadcasts if I ever.
Well, it's called hot dogs.
No, I know.
And bologna.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I heard bologna is the same thing.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Twinkies.
It's just kind of what's left.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Twinkies. I'm telling you right now.
Well, it wasn't anything bad.
All American food.
Right. It's not anything bad.
Sir.
Except it's just not. My question was, the guy asked us, and I said, I thought it's whipped cream and whatever. And he said, well, basically that's what it is. It's just chicken fat and a large amount of sugar. And we just whip it, and it looks like whipped cream, and it tastes like whipped cream. But hey, we live in the United States of America where my wife can buy cauliflower that if she does it right, it tastes and looks like mashed potatoes. So, but yeah, I am probably at a point where, no, if I had to think about what was in the fast food meal while I was in line waiting for it, I probably would have just drove by and gone somewhere else.
I ain't ate fast food in 4 years. And
you're probably not missing anything.
Let me tell you something, Dave. You know what I think about it? Fast food, two things. Like McDonald's, for instance. I've been eating McDonald's since I was a little kid. The first time I think is I'm going to get the order wrong. And the second thing I'm going to think is it's not going to taste the way it used to or anywhere even remotely close.
It doesn't.
Right.
And I'm disappointed. I mean, a lot of times we don't feel like cooking around here, want to go to town, get something. And I got to tell you, every place in town basically is fast food.
Yeah.
You got Pizza Hut, you got Little Caesars, like all these places. And you are literally disappointed every single time. Because their food sucks.
Right.
If we do go out eating occasionally, it's like at a mom and pop's restaurant or a diner or something like that.
Yeah.
A cafe. That's the only place I'll eat out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like knowing what I'm eating.
Yeah.
I like seeing my own food,
I can just see Steven sitting down at his table and looking across there and going, yeah, buck number 25 over there, that's ours.
Well, anymore you go to stores, I read all the boxes. Everything's got bioengineered. Everything you buy anymore. I read every label. I mean, I don't buy anything that says bioengineered. I just don't do it.
Like I said, I couldn't remember who it was. I said the other day, I thought it was Ralph Nader, but somebody years ago I remember saying, if you can't pronounce every ingredient on the label and you don't understand what it is, then honestly, you just shouldn't buy it.
That's what Jerry said the other night, wasn't it, Jerry?
Yeah.
Similar. Yeah. The thing is, like, every single thing that you buy in a grocery store has those words on the package somewhere.
They've been altered.
Now,
the food's been altered one way or another.
Yeah, because that's the only way it lasts so long.
Yeah.
You think about this. They butcher a cow. They kill a cow at the processing plant. They kill a cow. They cut them up, whatever. and that's like a full day of doing that. Okay, and then you have to package it, obviously, and then send it out. That could take 2 or 3 days. So right immediately, that's not fresh. Fresh is when you basically kill it and eat it. Okay, now I'm not talking about like killing a deer and freezing it or any of that. I mean, my neighbor's he's got a freezer outside that will fit probably 8 deer easily. Florida deer. Um, Florida deer are somewhat smaller than northern deer.
Yeah, way smaller.
But nevertheless, nevertheless,
When we butcher,
fit 10
when we butcher a cow like today, like the farmer dropped them off today. We shot him, rolled him in. We shot him outside rolled him in the kill floor, cut their heads off, started skinning them, gutting them, all that, got them skinned. Once we're done with it, we cut them in half. They go into the freezer and they stay in that freezer. They got to stay in there for a few days. From the day that the farmer drops it off to the day it picks up takes anywhere from 12 to 14 days. But it's always it's in a cold ass freezer. I mean, it's cold in there.
But it's not
fine.
fresh.
But they're advertising fresh meat, and it could be 2 to 3 to 4 weeks before it actually hits the I go to Walmart, so the Walmart shelves, right?
Right.
And then it's going to sit in there it could sit in there another week in the cooler thing. Okay. I mean, depending on who wants what, obviously. But you're talking about well over a month. They have to put shit in food.
Yeah.
You go and you buy box stuff or, dry goods. Okay. They all got half the stuff I look at in the store is dehydrated, which is a thing, it's a thing. Packaged, like rice-a-roni. It's dehydrated, it's rice and it's got the package. And I love rice-a-roni. I really do. I hate talking bad about rice-a-roni, but, I mean, it's just not the same. It's not. And although you can can stuff and everything, but when you get it yourself, say you grow it yourself and you can it, you don't have near the poisons in it. You have just what's in the air, basically, and maybe what comes down in the rain, which is way freaking less than some plane going over your crops and, dust and everything with God knows what. Okay. Yep. Way less. Okay. And then you can it for a year, but you're still, you do it correctly, that will last a year, no problem. Okay. Right. And it'll taste good also, and way better than what you buy in the store. I didn't realize this. I started growing tomatoes, and I remember what tomatoes taste like, and they taste like paste now. I mean, literally like the homemade paste you made in third grade, and ate anyway. Okay. I ate a tomato off that vine, and I couldn't believe the freaking difference. I mean, you go to the store, the most beautiful looking tomato you can find, and it tastes it tastes like nothing.
Right.
But you grow it yourself, and that shit that looks pretty good then.
Yeah. Everybody here is stocking up big time on meat. I mean, I'm really surprised that many people are buying quarters and half beefs off these farmers. I loaded a lady come and picked up her order yesterday, and I literally filled the whole back of her bed with her order. It was 3 cows that we had packaged. And I mean, I packed bag after bag after bag of meat. It was bed level in the back of her truck, full.
How much is How much does a side of beef cost? Cut up.
Side of beef, processed, done, and everything. Let's see, it was $1,600. It's $3,200 to do a whole one. $800 for a quarter to do a quarter. So if I went in with somebody on a half, which I'm thinking about doing here soon, it'll cost me $800 for my quarter.
Yeah.
Right.
Now compared to
and how much does a cow? How much does a live cow cost?
Oh shit! I don't even know. I need to ask. They're pretty high, but I know
probably starting at $1,500 to $1,600, depending on what kind of cow it is. I would think
you're probably right in the ballpark. Now, back in the day when I used to help my grandpa and them, we always butchered and slaughtered steers. Now the price of steers and bulls are up so high that cows are cheaper. People are bringing in their cows or heifers, and that's what we're slaughtering because they're like
That's what
$500
I
cheaper.
see at the house. There's a small butcher up the road, and he does wild game, and he does cattle and pigs and all that. Okay,
Yeah, that's what.
and
That's what it is.
once in a while, I feel bad for the cows. Once in a while, you see a trailer parked out there. He's like, "Yeah, you ain't long for the world, motherfucker." But I don't know. These people, they're cows. I know that because every now and again you get a peek at their rear end and you'll see they're cows.
Yeah.
You don't see too many.
Well,
I
I went
see
out and
very
witnessed
few
the kill.
steers around here. We got a milk farm. That's probably why. We got a milk farm right down the street, and it's all
Right.
I don't know what kind of cows they are, black and white, Guernseys or something. I don't know. But
I kind of felt
yeah.
bad today for the old cow. I mean, I actually witnessed the kill today, and this old cow knew it was coming. She knew it was her end time, and it was bad. I'm like, wow, she knew it.
I mean, do they just send her running and gun her down, or do they just is it
No,
more
we
polite? They
put
go
him
up behind the back of her head or something.
No,
What do they do?
We put him in a kill chute. We put him in a chute. There's like 5 of them in this like gated chute, and then we open it up and they come in a chute like where you deworm them or tag them, or ear tag them. When farmers work the cattle. But this chute's a little different. It's got a side door that opens up into the building, and it's got a hole where the head looks right at you. The cow's looking in front of you. You just take a 22 Magnum rifle and wait till the cow looks directly at you, and you put it right between her forehead, right in her eye, between her eyes.
Okay. I mean,
But this cow was putting her head down and putting it off the side because she knew it was coming. I'm like, wow. I had to step in. I had stepped in that building because
that was my question. Do you think they know? I mean, I don't know how. I try to humanize everything, and if you or I,
they know.
Yeah, she knew.
If they're at the slaughterhouse, and they see what happened to her buddy. They got an idea. Now, nothing good's happening here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They got an idea.
Yeah.
Me, I don't hunt, but here's what I'm going to tell you. If it came down to it and I had to go out and hunt, I could do it.
Yeah.
I love animals and I hate to see them dead, but they taste so damn good. It's not my fault. They taste. It's not my fault.
I think we've established that the Stephen Palmer doctrine is that they're sustainable and God gave us more than we were ever going to need. So if we didn't do something, there's too many of them.
Hey, Dave, you know me, I'm not religious, but I have read the Bible, and the man lords over the animals.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to describe that, he can either have a shitload of pets he's got to take to the vet every other week, or you can, survive on them and eat them, and that's what it is. So, yeah, we got where I live, we got poachers all year because I live out in the middle of nowhere and there's nobody checking. And I don't particularly care for it because some of them gunshots are real close to my house and I don't know what moron is out there drinking and hunting. And that bugs me. But I certainly understand it because people actually, it's not like the old days where they wiped out the buffalo. I mean, people eat this shit. And you know what? Some of the people that live around me, that's what they have. Okay. If they ain't got deer meat or something, okay, they don't eat because they're poor.
Right. Well,
and
if you don't,
if
you don't keep the herds thinned out, imagine this. Imagine all the insurance claims because if the herd, that's the reason they have deer hunts. One is because disease control, and 2 is to keep the herds thinned out. Because if not, you're going to have all kinds of insurance claims. I don't know how many deer have been hit on my road. I mean, everybody's hitting deer. You always see a deer hit somewhere. So they have to control it and regulate it. They really do.
We had a security driver in I think it was a 2004 or 5 retired Crown Vic that we made into a security cruiser. And I think he was doing 75 and he hit what I was told was a 25-point buck. And he said it flipped the car, and the guy who got out walked away from it without a scratch. The car was totaled. And they found the buck a couple of days later in the woods, laid down dead. The guy said the game warden said the car probably hit it so hard there was so much internal bleeding there was just nothing the buck could do.
Yeah, me and my wife hit one on my dad's fully dressed Harley on his electric glide, and I'll tell you what, that was not fun.
Yeah,
I hit it at 55 mile an hour, and it broke my wife's leg, and I wrapped it around the front of the bike. It's a wonder I didn't lay it over. I mean, if I would have laid it over, I wouldn't be here right now. Neither would my wife.
yeah.
So yeah, the herds need to be thinned out. They really do.
Yep.
There's zero doubt of that. They're like rabbits. I mean, if we didn't have rabbit hunting, and if rabbits weren't like everybody in everybody's food chain, okay, we'd be overrun with rabbits in about 7.5 minutes. Okay?
We don't have that many rabbits here.
Everything on this planet has to be eaten. I mean, Nick was telling us a couple of weeks or so ago that if nothing ate bugs, we would have dead bugs up to our waists in about a week.
Yeah.
Okay, everything is part of the food chain, and the bigger you are, the less chance. We are part of the food chain if we ain't paying attention.
Right.
Because you're walking around, and you see even a Florida black bear, which is half my size but weighs as much as more than I do, will eat me. Okay, and if you're dead out there, the wild hogs will eat every last bit of you, except maybe your belt buckle. I don't know. Maybe they can identify you through that.
And if he's mad enough, everything your belt buckle.
So the thing is that we are the top of the food chain, but that doesn't mean we can't be part of it.
Right.
Okay, because I mean, there's a lot of people running around in these national parks and in the wilderness of Oregon or some damn where that they go in and never come out. And it's, it could be a number of reasons, but one of them is like these huge ass bears called grizzlies and shit that eat your entire body in one gulp and then ask for dessert. It's a thing. So we have to, and if shit hits the fan, here's the problem. If shit hits the fan, you have a bunch of fucking morons that just bought a gun out there trying to shoot a deer with a 357, which actually you could probably do. But
yeah, you can.
They're gonna shoot at any damn thing that moves. And you're gonna end up killing each other. And then of course the stealing and everything else that goes on or will go on. Listen, I have in the last few days fully have started to embrace this whole prepping thing and kind of at least having an idea of what I'll do, because I can't run. My wife can't go anywhere. So I'm here. And if I want to survive and I want her to survive, we're going to have to, I'm going to have to do some shit and, make some decisions on certain things. And that's that.
Yep.
And
you got 5 acres or whatever you said you had.
People
Yeah, what do you think you're going to plant, Jerry? I hear you talk about
have
it.
no freaking
broadcast.
My wife wants me to plant salad. My wife is not really redneck. She's from New York. She wants me to plant lettuce for salad. And I'm like, listen, you plant beans, you plant stuff that you'll get sick of eating, but then if you don't have it, you're going to die. So it's better to be sick of eating the same shit all the time than, that stuff you can, stuff that you could store for a year or two, and none of us will ever have enough. There's always going to be, as Stephen has mentioned many times, the skill and art of bartering for what you need. So then you also have to have, like he says, and I've heard this 1,000 times, something to barter. He says, is moonshine, which I'll guarantee you that'll be that'll be like gold probably. Um, you can, like, I'm thinking about setting up some bee boxes and stuff for honey, because honey will be something that a lot of people will need. But
Oh yeah,
moonshine is not something people need, but they will definitely want.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
well, moonshine is more than just for drinking. You can use it for fuel. You can use it for heat. You can use it for medicinal, and then you can use it for drinking.
Can you drive a car
Yeah.
on moonshine, Stephen?
Yeah, absolutely.
A regular
Hey.
car? I mean, can I go outside?
Oh
We
yeah, and it'll clean your rings and pistons and everything up, dude. I'll
We
tell
have
you
a
what.
20. Yeah, we got rid of the Toyota. We have a 2017 Kia.
Well,
Can we
I don't
port-
know. How is it like the newer vehicles? Will that work in the newer? I know it works in the older ones.
Well, we have to try it.
Like,
I haven't
with
tried it
the
yet.
carburetor, with the carburetor and the points and shit. That I knew guys. They were way older than me, but that's what they used because they lived in the Everglades and they had stills. And I don't think they ever bought gas. And
Bootlegger.
back in the day, back in the day, South Florida, everybody had an airboat, and their airboats ran off that shit too. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a lot cleaner than gas, and even the corn
Yeah,
shit they're selling today.
it burns
know.
clean. It burns clean. And you set it on fire. You pour a little bit on a table or on a jar lid and set it on fire, and it just burns clear and clean. You might see a little blue flame, but you about can't even hardly
Yeah.
see the flame. It burns so clear.
Yeah, but that blue flame means it's burned. It burns very, very hot. That's what the blue means.
It's burning that ethanol
Am I
off.
correct?
Yeah, it's burning that
All I
ethanol
know,
off.
all I know is this: when you put that shit from the gas station in your small engines now, it will wreck your carburetors on all of them. It will melt the freaking fuel lines after a very short period, like 6 months.
That's because
Okay.
we're importing that shit from
That
Venezuela, isn't it?
Yeah, and the only reason it works in the trucks is because in cars is they make them to last with that. But anytime you add something like corn to gasoline, I don't see how they mix. I don't know much about it. That's probably why, but I
know a
have
boy stop.
actually seen.
I had a boy stop
ahead.
here. It was out of gas. I mean, he was completely out of gas, and I had almost a gallon of my first pull and my last pull of moonshine, which I saved that and put him in my next batch of mash. But anyhow, I said, well, I ain't got no gas, but I got this. And he said, well, let me try it. At least I got to get 10 miles. I said, all right. So we poured it in there, and this thing spit and sputtered before he pulled in there. That's how it ran. It was a piece of shit. But boy, we put that in there, and he backed out of my driveway, and he got probably 60 yards. That thing backfired once, and that thing just opened up, took out like a rape tape. He said that's the best that thing had run since he owned it.
Well, I believe it because it burns so hot and clean. It's not leaving the deposits all over everything, which is what gasoline does.
Right.
And that's why a lot of, especially these days, that's why you have a lot of internal problems with engine problems with the crap they're selling. And the crap they're selling is not helping the environment one bit. All it's doing is helping corn farmers and the oil companies. That's all it's doing.
Well,
because they actually sell less oil for more money because of that 10% that's in there. And what's that?
When we drilled here, our fuel was good and clean. And when we drilled right here in the United States, because they cared about our refineries, but all this shit they're importing from Venezuela and shit, it's sludge and it goes through refineries and it's not good on our motors. It's crap. Anytime we import anything,
Well,
it's crap.
Yeah, but we're paying premium price for it too. You can bet on that. Which is
Oh,
why
absolutely.
we're paying down here $3.50 or something for gas a gallon, which is ridiculous. I mean, I
We got
remember
up to
paying $1, I think 99 cents a gallon when I was a kid, right? And when it went to like $1.03, I was pissed off. And I ain't
two
seen
years
that
ago.
since I was.
I paid 99 cents for a gallon of gas here 2 years ago. We had a local station up here, like 20 miles here, and they're always the lowest in the county. And 2 years ago, for all this bullshit started with Biden, or 3 years ago, I paid 99 cents a gallon. Hell, I went up there and actually filled up both my vehicles, and I took like 20 fuel jugs up there and filled them all up because I heard there was going to be a shortage, so I stocked up. But then I've used it all.
Yeah. Well, I have to agree with you. While we paid, the lowest it got here was $1.99, and people were like dancing in the streets. Okay,
Right.
you know, but because under Obama it was 3 and 4, or not 3 and 4, but it was like 3 to 3.50, and then Trump got in, and next thing you know, we're paying $1.99. Yay, team. Okay. Let's see, but it would cost me $40 or so to fill up my tank, and now you're talking about $45, and then now you're talking $3.50 a gallon, and
cost me
it's a 27-gallon tank or some crap or another. I don't know, but
Okay,
yeah,
just so everybody knows,
it's ridiculous what we're paying.
Just so everybody knows, if you were watching and we lost the feed, Facebook decided to lock me out of my account as I was doing 50 live shares of the broadcast tonight. So it might be really pretty. You might have lost the live stream temporarily, but that'll be cleaned out. And on the podcast, it won't be there. But I apologize for that happening. Facebook doesn't like it when you share your live stream to 50 groups on Facebook that are okay with you sharing your thing too. But anyway, we resume.
I know. Listen, I watch your show, right? And I'll be doing a thumbs up thing, and like all of a sudden you're prohibited from using the thumbs up button.
Yeah.
What possible reason could you have for doing that? What possible reason?
The only thing Facebook has against me, and then we'll get back to the only thing Facebook has against on my personal account is they nailed me for using copyrighted material that Facebook told the person whose copyright it was that I used it without their permission. Then the problem was the person contacted me and said, well, you got to tell us what you did so that we can figure out what we're going to do with you. And I just said no. And I've ended up battling with them for 6 months before they finally said, well, we're just going to agree. We're just going to take it and resolve it that Facebook deleted the broadcast or the section of the whatever that it was. And I don't know if they ever did. But other than that, they had nothing against me right now. But they love to play games like that, like I said, where if I send something, it doesn't matter what it is. I can be watching Jerry's broadcast and I can put the Rumble link on and send it to 50 places and they lock me out of my account. But which is all the more reason why we should be on Rumble. The more reason why we should be on Rumble.
Well, I will say this. Rumble, I've noticed I haven't heard anybody in the comments complaining about having comments taken down. Now, we don't have very many rules on our show. We try to keep the F-bombs to a minimum, but as you noticed, we still
guilty.
say that.
I'm guilty.
No. Well, so please, nobody's more guilty than me. Ask anybody.
I am too.
But
I am too.
You talk about like no overt racism like the N-word and shit like that because it doesn't do any good. And we get it. You don't like black people. What about the ones that, work their fucking ass off trying to stay alive, just like the rest of us are? But, fuck you. Okay. Yeah. I don't have any use for that. And that's about it, and on Facebook, we could say whatever we wanted on screen, and we did.
Yeah.
But in the comments, they would take the comment. I've made comments on Dave's show where it was taken down immediately because I used the word.
I can sit here until I'm blue in the face and say Rashida Towelhead, Rashida Towelhead, Rashida Towelhead, and they won't do anything. But if I type Rashida Towelhead in the comments right now, they will say, do you really want that hate speech violation?
Yeah.
The only problem I have with Facebook, when we're live like this or on Rumble, I can't see none of the comments on Facebook or on Jerry's show on Rumble.
Well, it's Rumble. I actually talked to someone at StreamYard who looked into it. Rumble is not what they call an integrated destination. It uses the whatever it is, RMTP code and stream key or something. Yeah. That technology doesn't transmit the live chat through the live stream. No. And according to the guy at StreamYard that I talked to, and he's like the head tech. He's not, he's up in the food chain, but he's not that high up. He's the head tech. He said, we're waiting on Rumble to tell us what either we need to do or they want to do, and we will be more than happy to have them. So my suggestion is that, like I do when I'm on Jerry's broadcast, I just have a monitor, a tablet on the side. I watch the live chat on. Go ahead, Jerry.
The only thing
Go ahead, Jerry.
The thing I hate the most is not being able to put the comments on the screen. I hate that because I got to tell you, since the day I started doing this, I always felt that it was important that the commenters were involved with what we were doing, and we're sitting here and I don't like ignoring them. I don't like people that get on and ignore the commenters. That's bullshit. Because the commenters, I got to tell you, in many, 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 many cases on our show, have corrected or gave an opinion that we're all like, oh, shit, that kind of thing. I never thought of it that way before or something, and that's why they are. And plus, if you're not going to involve the commenters, why the fuck are you doing this other than being, an egomaniac or something? I don't know.
I agree with you. I mean, to me, it's great to have people on who know what's going on. It's great to have people on who are experts in whatever they want to claim that they are. But the bottom line is the people that watch it are the people that watch my broadcast, as far as I'm concerned, are what it's all about. Because, and I've done broadcasts when it was only me talking to me. I was the only one watching. So, I understand, but,
Yeah, I've done them too.
Yep.
I've done them before, way long time ago, but I've done them too. But you know what? Like Larry I don't know what it is about Larry Bird, but he knows bullshit when he sees it. And I'm the guy that I always try to give everybody a chance, especially if they come on screen or something.
Yep.
Or they're in the comments, and Larry seems to know immediately. Alan's another one. Nick is balls on every time.
Oh yeah, Nick is.
And
Nick
to a fault, I try to give people a chance. Yeah. To a fault, I try to give everybody a chance, and it blows up my face every time. So I just told Nick from now on, just you handle it because it never turns out well. But they are extremely important, and I'm going to tell you, Rumble is having a lot of problems with. I don't know what they call it. I don't know the technical terms, but people attacking the platform. Whatever, and
trolls.
It's a liberal bullshit trying to shut it down. and probably other tech companies trying to shut it down because it is growing relatively rapidly. And people are finding out that, like on YouTube, you watch a video, a perfectly normal video, no cursing, no nothing. Some guy telling you, a story about something, and they can't use the word sexual assault because they won't get monetized. And I'm like,
Yep.
but it's a story about a girl who got killed, sexually assaulted and murdered, and they're trying to find a murderer or something, like that. And they can't say those words. And cyber attack, yeah, that's part of it, yeah. And that's what it is. DDoS attacks, yes.
Yep.
And
Facebook has a
apparently
school where they'll
hundreds of
teach
them
you how to do all of that. It's called Instagram. And the only reason I say that is because, well, no, the only reason I say that is because you go on or you post something that you think you were hacked or you think you were cloned. You post that in the live feed, in the news feed, and the first 5 or 10 responses you'll get are all these people that say, go over to Instagram and give your account to this, and that person will go in there and straighten it out. I always tell people, you have to give someone on Facebook, on Instagram, your password to get onto your account on Facebook. Do you think they're going to fix it for you? When I was at
no, they can't fix it. They are so deep into the shadow banning of everybody. Do you really think for as long as you and I have been doing this, we should be getting hundreds at least? And we're not.
We're not.
I don't know how long Steven's been doing lives, but I'm sure it's been a while. He should be. Okay. And because there are more conservatives and then moron liberals in this country.
Yeah.
Whether you anybody likes hearing it or not, that's a fact.
Yeah.
The problem is the social media companies are the ones not showing the videos or not showing the posts or whatever it is. Rumble, you at least got a shot.
Yeah.
Here on Facebook and YouTube, and I don't know about X. I got off of Twitter, but because Twitter, if you want to get pissed off, going on Twitter is the best way to do it for at least 7 minutes. And when you do that, you're going to leave, and you're going to need some kind of antacid, Tums or something, because it's just utterly ridiculous over there. I've never seen anything like it.
I got permanently kicked off Twitter. I'm permanently kicked off.
I used to link through StreamYard. I used to link to my Twitter profile at Boogie WT Bull all the time. And there were some people that would retweet it, but the most people on Twitter don't want to watch a 2.5 hour broadcast, which is why I stopped doing it. I keep thinking one of these days if I could get it down to 30 minutes, that means I could probably get it down to 15 minutes. And I do a 15-minute drop on Rumble. On X on my profile and hope people share it. But it's just. I hated Twitter in the beginning because you only had 160 characters. I would write something and it would take me 4 hours to get it down to 160 characters. So I just stopped using it.
That's a sign that's a good sign you shouldn't be using it. But the other sign is some of the dumbest people on the planet are on Twitter, and most of and even Facebook. Jesus Christ, I get hooker friend requests damn near every day.
Oh yeah.
And what they're doing now is liking like 20 of my posts.
Yeah.
And as soon as I see the same name after another, then I know that I got to block somebody. My block list is like probably 30 pages long.
Oh, yeah. Mine's probably 100 pages.
They used to be the squiggly line people from, the Middle East who threatened to do bad things to me. And I would just block them. Now it's others, so.
I don't even remember what I said, and I don't even know if it is the actual Whoopi Goldberg or not. But I got blocked by Whoopi Goldberg on Twitter before it became X. And I know Rob Reiner reads my stuff, or whoever posts as posts for Rob Reiner, reads my stuff, but he's never commented back. But I left because I was
got
arguing with
kicked off.
every day, and it just wasn't worth it.
Are either one of you guys on Telegram by
I
chance?
got no.
I'm on. I lost my list of all the Telegram groups that I'm in, so I'd have to go back and look. But most of the Telegram groups that I went into were really gung ho at the beginning, and then about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, they just stopped. And I figured it was easier to just dive into group chats on Messenger, which are also crazy. But
Well, I got blocked by Rosie O'Donnell.
yeah, right. What did you do? Quote Donald Trump and call her a fat pig?
I got blocked
What
by
does that mean,
Rosie O'Donnell. That was fun.
Divorcing
Yeah.
and I got into it with.
I don't know. I'm looking at it now. I don't remember.
On TV all the time.
And on Twitter, you're really not somebody unless
come-
you get. On Twitter, you're really not somebody unless you're blocked by one of the people who think they're a big person on Twitter. I guess. I mean, I don't know. You know. Jerry Robin Brunson wants to know how Michelle is doing.
Oh, about the same, Robin. How you doing? Guys, I want to say hello to Jane and Larry and who else? Alan and Max may
Alan.
be here. I don't know. I don't see him.
Max is here.
I send Max a link to the show every time we're on, I believe. So I think he does a lot of watching and not a lot of.
Is Max
Max
David Moon, or is David Moon someone different from Max?
No, David Moon is Max. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's watching.
He used to have a great page. Him and somebody else had a great page they had.
Yeah.
And it was basically news from the ground in England of protests and what was actually happening instead of what we're hearing in the news. And apparently I don't know why he was forced to shut that down because he was threatened by the police.
Yeah,
I believe. Okay, because they will come to your door in England, and they will, if you say something mean on Facebook or Twitter, they will come to your door, and in some cases, they will arrest you.
Yeah,
which is completely Neanderthal, if you ask me. Of course, it's not my country, but they ain't happy about it either. So, Robert Lawless is here too. Hey, Robert.
Robert Lawless is here. I will tell people, if you are outside of the United States and you are a conservative, I don't know how, I don't know why, but last Saturday we got handed a group that is called Conservatives Worldwide. I believe it is a public group, which means that it's probably a private group. I can't remember. But if you're outside of the United States of America and you are a conservative and you don't care about risking what you say, please join the group. It's Conservatives Worldwide. And it seems to be doing okay. But yeah, if that's what you are, you're more than welcome to join. And like you said, Robert Lawless, the Minnesota Madman, is here. And Robert, you can take the link on the screen if you can read it and put it in, or I'll send it to you. Anybody's welcome to come on. There are 5 cameras available if anybody wants to join us for the remaining time. And where were we before I ruefully interrupted everybody?
I don't remember.
Alan said something about you must have TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but people are telling me that I need to go do it. I've listened to Stephen. I'm sorry I cut you off, Jerry, but Stephen Tolliver has said you need to go do it because people go over to TikTok, they get thousands of views, and then they just take that and bring it over to Facebook and post it, and
Well, as far as the Chinese go, I have no doubt that the Chinese own TikTok, and they're gathering some information or another. There's no doubt of that. But then, which one doesn't?
They don't.
Which
The
one
CCP doesn't. Supposedly, the CCP doesn't directly own TikTok.
Yes, they do.
No,
Yes,
well,
they
a company. Well, they probably do, but the company, there is a company that owns it, and I'm sure they're members of the CCP. It's Beijing ByteDance,
Yeah.
and there are 3 seats on the board of directors, and the CCP has one of the 3 seats. But but you're right. If you're in business in communist China, they own you.
Well,
And if
you
you're
see,
an American company in communist China, they probably own you anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of relate to CCP as the CIA, and who owns Facebook? The CIA.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, the
I've never
FBI
been-
works with Facebook. Every social media company has FBI, CIA, whoever in it, because that's how they gather. One of the ways they gather information on
Intel, yeah.
America
Right.
and
Well,
the country in general. Also, a lot of the crap that gets started is probably started, on social media where everybody's arguing, is probably started by one of those 2 entities also.
Right.
All right. Now, I don't get involved in any of that shit very often anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore because I realize we're being manipulated by freaking puppets. 1 week everybody's pissed off at this, and then after a week everybody forgets, and then it's the next thing. And it's, you want to be pissed off about something. 147 Republicans voted to put the FISA court back, refinance the FISA court and make it legal today or yesterday. I forget.
Yeah.
I think it's today.
Well,
147 Republicans
that
are allowing
They should be voted out.
are allowing this basically the CIA to spy on Americans anytime they want, with no warrants, no nothing. Okay.
Or lie about the warrants.
Yeah.
But completely just lie about it. I've said it before, or it's one of those things I say. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Since I've been on Facebook for 15 years, there's 2 versions of the same story going around. One is that Mark Zuckerberg was a data analyst for the CIA. The other was he was a data analyst for the FBI, and he went into his superiors and he basically said, I could create a social media network where people will want to create a profile, post pictures, get all their friends to come on and do the same thing, tell everybody where they are, check in wherever they are all around the world, 24 hours a day. And they believed him. So he did it. I mean, that's the thing that I would like to find out someday, is that the $29 billion that Mark Zuckerberg's wealth is off of the 29% majority stake he has in Meta, is that it's actually one of the big companies owning.
My second account I had on Facebook, when they took my first account away from me because of the J6 deal, it pissed me off. So every day for 3 months, I'd get up and I'd say, it's certain day, I'd say the day, the month, and the year, and I'd say Mark Zuckerberg is still a pedophile. And I did that for 3 months, and finally they got pissed off, took my account away from me.
Yeah. Well, I can actually look into my camera and say to anybody who is watching tonight or listening anywhere that you are, the only reason I came to Facebook and I'm doing what I do on Facebook is because it's free. And I couldn't find anybody else that had the viewership or the chance to get views. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have came here. A lot of my friends left when AOL closed the chat rooms down. Most of my friends came here, and aside from coming here and not getting too harassed from 2009 to 2016, and then
I got I got on Facebook in 2012, and that was for business reasons and to stay in touch with family because all the family was on it.
Yeah.
And the marketplace. I've sold so many headstones through marketplace and Facebook, but
Yeah.
now I can't even post an ad on Facebook anymore. It says me selling a headstone goes against their community standards.
Yeah.
But they can sell marijuana, they can sell hash, they can sell mushrooms, they sell all that shit on there. And you see porn on there, but by God, if I put a headstone on there, it goes against community standards, and they threaten to make a marketplace inactive for me, where I can't be on there anymore.
And they very rarely come after me for something serious that they will take me off. I think twice they've taken me off for a week. This was before I started doing the broadcast. They took me off for a week. And then actually, no, they took me off for a week once. And then during the broadcast, they took me off for a week, and we just went over to YouTube for a week. And the only reason we didn't stay at YouTube was we didn't get enough people. I mean, we're still linked to the YouTube channel, but nobody came or watched it for a week, which was why.
What's really funny as shit is whenever you share something that you picked up off Facebook. You found something you really liked on Facebook and you thought it was funny or whatever, and you share it, and then you turn around and you get it goes against community standards, and they flag you and put you in jail for 3 days or 7 days.
And it's something that you took from Facebook.
Yeah, you shared it up. You got it from Facebook. You shared it on Facebook, and then you get in trouble for it.
Yeah. Well,
that's happened to me. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
I know. I went ghost on Facebook to see how long I could do it because Facebook was kind of addictive, and these cell phones and everything else is addictive. So I want to see how long I could do it with just. And I went for 32 days, and within that 32 days, I got 3 different warnings that I shared something that went against their standards, and I hadn't shared nothing for 30 some days.
Yeah. Well, they do stupid things too. It's like someone will share something or post something in one of our groups, and they get nailed for it. So they often will leave the group, but Facebook already nailed them. So for 90 days, I got group quality issues. A Facebook user, someone's not even in the group anymore.
Well, I got kicked off one account for 90 days. Says a 90-day suspension, and then whenever 90 days was up, my account was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
What pissed me off when they took my first account away from me, my business account, Palmer Monument, was linked to it, and I paid for that. I paid Facebook money, and I give them extra money for advertising to reach more people, and they took that away from me. I didn't even get my year I paid for.
I get the invite every once in a while. If you get 50,000 people to watch, it's a little bit more than 3 hours each. It's 180,000 hours. And once you do that, then you can monetize on Facebook Watch. And my response to them every time they send it to me is, I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. I don't have 50,000 people watching me. But anyway, I don't know. We can kick the tires on them every night. We can trash talk them every night, and I do all the time. And I don't even understand why I'm still here. But I hope people enjoy watching it. And like I said, anybody that wants to come on is welcome to come on anytime. But what else, gentlemen? What else do we need to cover in the next 54 minutes?
I'm ready. Be honest with you, I'm ready to go get off here and go see the back of my eyelids.
Yeah, you're probably up pretty early if you're.
I'm up at 7. I get up at 7 o'clock every morning, drink a couple cups of coffee, and then I go out and start the vehicle because it's cold here. Let it warm up a little bit. And then I call the town and tell them, hey, this is what I want for breakfast. I'll be there in 10 minutes. And then I go in there and sit down at the lawyer's table and listen to them bullshit I can go in at 8 o'clock, but my bosses, they're pretty lenient. They give me 9 to 5 hours. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I'll sit in there and listen to all old farmers bitch and see what they like today. They're pretty pissed off. They're like, "What can we do?" And I said, "Well, either sit around and keep taking this bullshit, or get 5 million of us. And let's go back to DC." And, they're like, "Well, who's going to go to DC?" "Well, I'll go. You pay for the gas money. You pay for gas."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think it's pretty sad. I'm starting to think that we're raising a bunch of pussies in this new generation. It's like everybody's too complacent in their everyday lives. They don't even pay attention to what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's what really pisses me off the most.
Just
I am
remember,
seeing more and more people talk about getting frustrated. But my thing is, I've been active and proactive in a long time. Even here at a local level and at our state capitol. I've got so pissed off at state capitol, I can't pull another permit under my name because me and the Capitol Police got into it. But everybody wants to sit around and bitch about things, but nobody's active doing anything about it. And that's what pisses me off.
apologizes. I try to support Big Pharma. Tonight's Boogie with the Bull broadcast is made possible in part by the 17 different pharmaceutical companies who are now in my body. Because like Monsanto used to say, life without prescriptions would be impossible.
Nah, I don't do prescriptions.
Well, I try not to, and most of the ones that I'm taking actually do what they say they're supposed to do, but
Well, there's a lot of old remedies that does the same damn thing.
Well, if I had my way, my insurance company, which is Medicare, would have to pay for me to go see Dr. Daniel Amen down in West Virginia, I believe, who'll do a color map of my brain, and he's cured something. Some things I have, I don't know if you can cure. The dementia, I don't know if you can. If you can cure it while you're alive, you can slow it down. I don't know if you can cure it because they really technically can't even confirm you have it until you're dead. They look inside of it. I got to turn my mic off because the dogs are barking, so someone else say something.
It's like I shared a video the other day, and old boy it was a TikTok video somebody sent me, and they said, old boy sitting there, he said he told his wife he was thinking about going back and smoking marijuana, and she said, "Well, if you do, I'm gonna leave you." And he says, and they said that this shit wouldn't get rid of aches and pains. I thought that was one of the funniest damn things I heard in a while.
I had a doctor.
I gotta tell you.
Go ahead.
Well, Jerry froze on us again.
He'll snap out of it. I had a doctor once who told me.
I wish my wife would be able to do that, but unfortunately.
Stick around, he will be back. I had a doctor once who wouldn't get me supported marijuana therapy as for my being bipolar, but unfortunately the hospital that she practiced at did not support it, so she said no. I've never asked any others. I don't know what effect it might have on the dementia or not, and I'm not speaking very highly of the two dementia medications they put me on, only because I don't believe that they're really doing anything other than.
Well, Dave, if you smoke pot, you're probably going to forget a hell of a lot more.
That's all right. I wake up in the middle of the night and I go, table open, my birthday, remember my wife sleeping next to me, her chihuahua in between us, the cat roaming around the room. You know, I grabbed my phone. I can still remember how to log on to Facebook. You know, but you know. But
Yeah, my dad died.
anyway,
My dad died of dementia last year. So I was actually at a rally in Jefferson City when I got the phone call that he'd passed.
yeah, we are coming up on the 2019, 2023, coming up on the 4-year anniversary of my father on the 19th of the month. So that'll be a fun day, and everything happens in December. Our second grandson was born in December. My wife was born in December. Our youngest son got married on his mother's birthday. His father-in-law's birthday is December 16th, and you know, but that's the whole thing with this dementia stuff. They tell me, you know, you're going to remember things from 40 years ago like they happened today. You're just not going to remember what happened today.
Right.
It's true. But you know,
Right.
you don't play into it. You don't let it slow you down. You still get out of bed. You do what you got to do, and you battle with Facebook if you have to. And you know, it's life. You know, like I said, you know, I want to log in and watch. I want to log in, and the next time you're out on a controlled hunt, I want to log in and do the play-by-play. Take the feed and send it out over stream.
I want to get a GoPro and do some of my own hunts, video of my own hunts.
Yeah,
that's probably going to be a next year thing. I've got a deal working on with the neighbor down here where I've got control over his land, and we're going to start doing some things down there where we're going to bring in hunters, start doing guiding hunts, and start videoing some of these hunts.
Yep. Jane O'Malley asks, has anyone seen the movie The Shift yet?
No, I haven't.
I have not seen it yet.
I watched the 2 movies that they recommended the last couple of nights. Let's see, what was the last one? Logan's Run, which was an old.
Well, that's an old one. That's back when Farrah Fawcett Majors was still alive.
Oh yeah, Farrah Fawcett. Oh, yeah. I used to have her on a poster on the wall.
Oh God, every one of us had that. You know,
And then
except I was a professional little boy. I had the poster of her in the red bikini, but I didn't have it on my wall. It was on my ceiling.
Yeah, I had the same one.
My mother, I think my mother didn't even know it was there until one day she looked up and saw it there and asked why it's there. And I said, I don't know. It just seemed like the best place to put it.
We went to Branson one time, and we went to the wax museum, and they had a statue of her in there. And my wife got a snapped a picture. This is back before we had cell phones. She had one of them damn Polaroid cameras, and I was leaning over the ropes, acting like I was squeezing her bosoms, and my wife took a picture of it. It's funnier than hell.
Alan McMillan said that KFG, we know that you have a special feeling about Faker Book. Well, I actually do, Alan, and it's after 4.5 years of doing this, they still let me do it. After 15 years of groups, they still let me do it. My argument that I haven't been able to see how to resolve is they told me after 15 years they're going to take the Boogie with the Bull page down. I don't know why, other than they changed it. They changed my page to a Facebook for Business page, and maybe you have to pay for it, but I'm not going to. And if I had the money, I wouldn't be on Facebook. If I had the money, I would have launched my own probably 7 or 8 years ago. But I don't have the money.
Do you ever watch Derek Johnson on Facebook?
The Rock?
No, Derek Johnson. He's a Patriot. He's
Okay.
also, they call him 1776. He's a country music singer too, but he's friends with Donald Trump. He's ex-military.
Yeah. Okay.
He knows a lot of stuff. And then I follow him and Phil Godlewski.
Yeah. I mean, when we were talking last week, about all the big guys that were on like the American Rebellion and then went off and did their own things and became bigger. I watched all those guys on Facebook for years. I mean, like Stu Peters, when he was on Facebook, I watched him till he went over to Ops Lens. And then Lucretia Hughes, who's a fantastic lady, I watched her. I still try to watch her when I see that she's on. But
I used to watch Vandersteel, Mel K. Used to watch her quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was watching Charlie Ward for a while, but I kind of got burned out on him. I do listen to X22.
Yeah.
I love listening to him. Scott McKay, I actually met him a couple times.
Okay.
I know him.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of them I watch.
I watched Alex Jones for a while, but I was living in, we lived in Connecticut during Sandy Hook, and I'm not an expert. I can't tell you what happened and what didn't happen, but I haven't paid much attention to him. I used to catch Rush Limbaugh because somebody always had him running live.
Rush Limbaugh.
I'll
tell you one I miss. I miss old Paul Harvey.
Yep.
I miss Paul Harvey.
Yep. And now you know the whole story, the rest of the story.
The rest of the story. Now
Now
his
you
son
know
took it
the
over.
rest of the story.
His son took it over for a little bit, but you remember they just put it back out here recently where that famous show that he did, Paul Harvey did, where he talked about if the devil was running the country or whatever. You remember that one?
Not off the top of my head.
You ought to go back and look it up and
Okay.
listen to it. It is spot on. This was done back in the 60s, I believe. He did this show and it talks about things that's happening today. And it absolutely blows your mind.
Yeah.
He was smart.
Yeah. I keep coming to the same point. Biden might think he's president. Obama is Biden's puppet master. Soros is probably Obama's puppet master. There has to be a puppet master above him before you get to the Rothschilds, and there even has to be probably puppet masters above them.
How many strings behind the scenes? How many strings do you think Trump's actually pulling though on some of these guys? Just saying.
For a while, I don't know, because I thought that based on Trump being the senior Republican at the time, that going into 2020, he was probably pulling a lot of people, not necessarily pulling their strings, but holding them in line and keeping that vision of his alive. And because it was stolen or he lost or whatever you want to call it, I don't know going into 2024 who's going to follow him anymore. And personally, I don't necessarily think the largest faction of voters for Trump in 2024 is going to be Republicans. Because didn't Obama bring over all the Muslim refugees in leading up to the 2012 election?
Yeah.
And wined and dined and got them all settled here and hoped that they were going to elect Hillary Clinton. And from what it looks like, they voted for Donald Trump.
Right.
And my hope is that if that happens, that it backfires for whoever is for Obama, getting Biden reelected in 2024 because all of these people who came here illegally hoping to get a better life might actually think if Trump comes back, they might have a shot at getting a better life. And they'll vote for him, hopefully.
I don't know. I don't have any faith in the election. I don't know if we're going to have another election, to be honest with you. That's my feeling.
Well, and also my thing day to day is they say, this could go at any minute. So, it's December 14th, 2023. So who knows where this is going to be on election day 2024.
We got less than 11 months, and I foresee something. I see chaos happening in the country. I really do. I see something bad happening. I really do.
But like we were talking about on Tuesday, I think it was, if the Democrats know that something is already, or understand that something is already happening, whether it's martial law or whatever, and somebody is making the decisions and running the country, why are the Democrats continuing with the way they were and not just jumping off of cliffs and off of buildings and doing whatever, or just falling in line with what's going to happen?
Well, logically, what's going on is way off. It's not correct. I mean, constitutionally, Biden has committed treason. He's committed piracy. I mean, he's committed like 4 or 5 acts of treason. I don't know why or how this is allowed to continue to go on. I don't know why the military hasn't stepped in unless there's something going on behind the scenes.
Well,
that leads me to believe in devolution, continuity of government. Maybe there is something going on behind the scenes.
Before Biden got elected, I remember hearing
he wasn't
before
elected.
Biden got elected, even while Trump was president, we heard all the time that there was one general, I think, in the Army who makes the decision. And I think his name was John Dunsford. And he makes the decision. Then others, including Jerry and a few others, have said to me, no, it's not that simple. And one of these days, someone who I really trust and will, if I have to, turn my mic off the entire broadcast just to get him on and let him speak. Jerry, not Bill Muckler, who wrote the 2020 books, because Bill would probably know. We're not on a night that's good for Bill to come on, but because what I don't understand is, I guess in listening to Stephen Tolliver talk, it's written somewhere in our Constitution. I understand there are 3, and you can take your pick on which one you follow. But the original 1776, whatever Constitution that launched this country, isn't it in there that at any time we can vote martial law in? Is it us who can vote it in, or that we have a responsibility if we think we have a tyrannical government?
If we have a tyrannical government, it's our duty to go up and remove them.
Okay, and I mean, and I'm even at this point now where I could be the highest ranking member of Congress and be a Republican, and at this point, if Biden is insane, just get him out of the White House into a place where he's happy and he's living. I mean, I don't need to see the old man hanging from a tree or the gallows somewhere. It's just not what I need to see.
What they're doing right now,
it's not him. It's the people that are. It's not him. It's the people behind him or above him.
This impeachment inquiry they're doing is a freaking joke. I mean, he's actually done more, and they got more just with the border being open the way it is, that's an act of treason, and him and Kamala both should be in jail right now because
Well,
it is in there. That is one of their main jobs is to protect our border,
but
and
I
they're not doing it. They're blatantly not doing it. The
have the
American people
question that I
see that.
want answered is: didn't we approve something like $5 billion to build the Trump wall? And we
More than
built,
that,
we paid for all, we own all the panels to complete the wall. And from what I understand, I don't remember where they are, but the panels that match the panels that are up on the Trump wall are sitting somewhere with panels that the Biden administration designed, because I guess Joe Biden wanted to finish it with his own panel, which is inferior to the Trump panel. And we're paying something like $135,000 a day for the panels to sit there.
what
Why don't we
I
just put the
I thought
panels?
didn't I hear something here a while back where Biden was selling some of that stuff off?
Well, he needs to answer for that. What I want him to answer to me is whether or not it was legal for him to sell our strategic oil reserves to China. Because if you read different stories, I guess there is some agency within the federal government that monitors the strategic oil reserves, and it allows us to sell portions of it, not deplete it, but sell portions of it to allied countries if they're about to run out of oil or something. Same
He
thing they're
sold a
about.
he sold a bunch to China that
Right.
Hunter owns or is part
Right.
is linked to. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Michael Anthony joins us. Hey, Michael, you're more than welcome to pop in if you want to pop in. We got about a half an hour left. And Michael is a very knowledgeable guy, and we've done broadcasts on this before. I do want to credit Don Smithers, our unofficial technical advisor. The clip by Paul Harvey that Steve is referring to
If I were the devil, yes.
is called "If I Were the Devil,"
Yeah.
and the link, the YouTube link to it, is right there. And
Watch
I will make
Watch
sure
it,
that
Dave.
I get it posted in the groups tomorrow. I'll get it from YouTube, or I'll post the link from YouTube for anyone.
If you haven't seen or listened to it, Dave, I encourage you to listen to it.
Okay, yep, I will. I will make sure we
And
get
that
it.
movie that gal was talking about a little bit ago, that was The Shift, right?
Yeah, Jane O'Malley asked about the shift, and then there's In Living. I forget that Jen Woodruff mentioned yesterday. That is on.
Yeah, I watched that show with
Julia
Rowdy
Roberts.
Piper. Rowdy
Yeah.
Piper, They Live. I watched that the other night.
Yeah. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things to watch. I don't know about the one that Jen mentioned yesterday. I can't remember the name. It was Living Something, but I think Jen said that the Obama brothers, Michael and Barack.
Leave the world behind.
Yeah, leave the world behind. But I believe Jen said that the Obama brothers, Michael and Barack, were the executive editors of that. So that tells you.
Yeah, my kids sent a link to us so we can download it. My
Watch
wife
it with a
put
grain of salt, and
I'm not a fan of Netflix. I don't own Netflix. I don't pay for Netflix. But my kids, they linked it to us the other night. So me and the wife, we did sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
Against my better judgment, because I'm totally against Netflix.
Yeah. I'm not against any of them, and we have 5 adults and our grandson here in Florida. Everybody has things that they watch, and I don't tell people you should get rid of Netflix or get rid of Prime or get rid of this one, get rid of that one, because there's in our house everybody has something they want to watch on any one of the live stream networks, and
I'm pretty lenient on some of the things I allow to watch in my house, but I do not allow porn. I do not allow. We don't watch NFL. We don't watch NFL in my home anymore.
Well, I can't say that we don't do that in this house.
Me and the wife both used to be NFL fans, and since they started taking a knee and all that crap over 7 years ago, I completely quit.
Some of the best football games our son and grandson watch are when their fantasy football teams are playing against each other, and they watch the games on
I can remember me and my brother when we was growing up. My brother was a Dallas Cowboys fan. I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I'll tell you what, we had some good go-arounds in our household.
yeah. The only time I ever really seriously, I mean, I don't watch much football anyway, and if you ask my wife, it's not fun to watch football with me because I don't understand the game. There's too much math. There's too much science in it. So I don't understand. So I'm always asking questions. And the middle years of me owning a limousine business, I made a lot of money off the New England Patriots by doing all kinds of limousine service for them. So I would say the only thing I know about NFL football is that I made a lot of money off the New England Patriots.
Right.
But growing up, when Al Davis was the owner of the Oakland Raiders, and he was talking about moving them to L.A. and forming the L.A. Traders, I swore that I would never go to a game that the L.A. Raiders were in, and if they made it into the Super Bowl, I would never. And I had the best seats and accommodations. I wouldn't go. And the same with when Bob Kraft was talking about moving the Patriots from Framingham to Hartford. If it turned out to be the LA Traders and the New England Patriots in a Super Bowl, again, I wouldn't go, which is not true. It's not true. I would go, of course. I would most definitely go.
Well, back in the day, football and all sports was entertainment, but then they got politicized and involved in politics, and then started disrespecting our veterans and our flag, and that just pissed me off. So I just, sports should be just about entertainment. They need to keep their nose out of politics.
Well, I've said on broadcast before that if I owned a football team, when you're in uniform and we're in a stadium, whether it's our house or the visiting team, or we're visiting another team's house, it's all the game, like you said, entertainment and a break from reality and football.
Right.
I will say that the worst move I think Colin Kaepernick made was taking a knee only while in uniform on a televised game. Now, as an American citizen, yeah, you got the right to speak. You got the right to do whatever you want, whenever you want. But when I'm paying you to play football, then you're on the grass playing football. If you want to take your uniform off at the end of the game and go and protest something, by all means do. But you're not a representative of my team when you're out there speaking. And if I own the team, I got a right to say whatever I want if I own the team. But
well, you seen how the media tried to make it all about race a couple of weeks ago when the little boy at Kansas City Chiefs had the red face and the black face and his little headband on. They tried to say being racist.
Yeah, we're gonna the sad thing about America is that
we're so divided. We're divided.
Right. And we're never going to get rid of racism, period. Regardless of what you do, we're never going to get rid of it. But tone it down to where everybody can live together, come together as Americans and do what we need to do for this country, and not necessarily, you don't have to agree with everyone. Michael Anthony said it best, rather than me kind of trying to rant to put it together. On or off the field, stay out of it.
Right.
Well, off the field, I don't don't care about, because you're not off the field. I'm not paying you to play football,
Right.
and you're not wearing my team's uniform, and you're not speaking on behalf of my team or our team.
Race around here in our community, we have a lot of Hispanics. We got a handful of Black Americans.
Yep.
We have a couple here, a black couple that moved here from Chicago, and he is cool as hell. But she's a loudmouth, and first time I met her was over at town at the local convenience store. My wife introduced me to her, and she says, about half or about 30% of you guys in this community are racist. And we don't talk about race. Race is not an issue around here. But I looked at her, and it pissed me off, and I said, you know what? You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
She looked at me, and her mouth dropped, and I said, I am racist. And it's not nothing to do with color. It has to do with ignorance. I'm racist towards ignorant people. And right now you're being ignorant as hell. I got two or three of I got some of the best friends in the world that are black, and I have no problem. I mean, we joke around about things, and I mean, color is not an issue. I don't see color in it in our friendship.
To me, it's sad that we can't just take Republican and Democrat out of the presidential election and just make it a popularity contest like it was when I was in college.
Right.
We joked around, a bunch of us, that everybody that ran for every office, it was, are you a Republican or you a Democrat? I was the chair of the College Republicans Club. The girl I ran against was the chair of the College Democrats. And, so it's like, are you running as a Republican? No, I'm running as a student. They asked her, are you running as a Democrat? And she said, no, I'm running as a student. But, so to me, that's what it should be. As far as president goes, president should not be a political party. It should just be the person who has the best ideas to do what we need to get done.
Right.
It should be the same in Congress, but it's never going to be that way because there's always going to be a majority of one party or no party or independents. But I don't know how to make it work. But you see,
well, yeah, we need to get rid of all three.
Yeah.
Branches.
Well, and the independents are on the right road. They're not declared a Republican. They're not declared a Democrat. If you look at their theory, they vote for person. But if you look at some of their candidates were definitely one or the other. Bernie Sanders is an independent, but Bernie Sanders, I think, became an independent because the Democrats didn't want to endorse him to run as their candidate.
Right.
And he made a career out of it. So did Joe Lieberman from Connecticut, who ran for president. And I gotta say, maybe it's because I'm Jewish and good old Joe was Jewish that I probably would have broke ranks and voted for him. I don't think America will ever see a Jewish president. I remember bouncing on my grandfather's knee, and he would say, someday you can grow up and be anything you want to be. And I'd look at him and go, President of the United States. And he'd go, yeah. And then sad thing is, I learned many, many years later, and it shouldn't be, if you're Jewish and you want to be president, you run, and maybe one day you will be. But anyway, I assume that we haven't heard anything from Hamas versus Israel or Israel versus Hamas in the last few days. So I assume it's still tied. No one's won yet. It's probably going to go on forever. I'm starting to wonder if Ukraine and Russia is the same thing. And I agree with people who say it's over, we don't want Russia to take Ukraine back because we need Ukraine so that we can put a NATO base there so that we can monitor Russia. But like I said on Tuesday night's broadcast, I see all these memes constantly with pictures of Zelensky standing next to Biden, and the caption is always, just got this much more billions, trillions of dollars that, I wonder, if Zelensky came here, he probably flew on a jet that the United States paid for the trip to get him here and back, sent him back with $200 million. When he got there, probably 20 million went back to Biden for a kickback. I don't know who got a piece of the rest of it. And I'm pretty sure that even on the other side, Putin must be getting some kickback, because as far as I'm concerned, if Putin wanted that thing to end, if Putin really wanted to be in Ukraine and have brought Ukraine back to Mother Russia, that convoy of stuff wouldn't have run out of fuel right there. They would have just gone right in and done it.
Right. I quit paying attention to Israel and all that, to be honest with you.
Right.
We need to focus on America.
That's the problem. I quit watching it only because in watching the religious right and the religious left, it's like people say that that World War III is going to launch off of Hamas versus Israel, or Israel versus Hamas. That's going to be the final showdown. And
well, I quit paying attention because it's all mainstream media.
None of my teachings as a Jew were anything about how God was going to end his beautiful planet that he gave us.
Right.
And I also kind of grew up thinking that this, forget about heaven and hell, or don't think about hell for a minute, other than thinking that this is hell that we're in, and you can only go up from here.
That's what my wife says every day. She said, we're living in hell right now. That's what she thinks.
Yeah.
But, with Ukraine and Russia and Palestine and Israel, how come we're just watching the media? How come there's nobody out there like citizen journalists, like people we have around here, that's actually putting the true story out? That's why I quit watching them, because it's all BS. Unless we have people like you and me that live over there that's putting the stuff out, I'm not going to pay attention, because we're not going to get the real truth.
The problem is, I don't think most countries are going to allow a bunch of us access to come in and be there while it happens, because it's probably not safe for us to be there. But you know what? There were times when I could have saw me after coming out of college with some knowledge in broadcasting and this and that. If the opportunity came up, I probably would have gone. I could have saw me joining Voice of America and traveling the world and doing something like that. But but it isn't even the problem in doing that. The problem is that the reason you don't see it on Facebook again is everybody's so shadow banned, because they don't want people to see it. So it's not like Facebook says, I'm bad, Ichabod's bad, Robert Lawless is bad, Michael Anthony is terrible. It's not like that. They just do their best to make sure people don't see it. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, I would send out 50 live shares of tonight's broadcast, and I'm sure that there is probably, you'll be able to see it in the feed, but usually StreamYard cuts it out.
The only time we get shadow banned is when we do something that we post something that's good or something that's truthful,
Yeah,
or they want to shadow ban us because of our opinion or our thoughts.
right.
But if you remember in the summer of love, 2020, it was no issue for him to be Facebook to be posting riots and shit on of Antifa and BLM. That was all fine and dandy, you know. The Kyle Rittenhouse, that night at Kyle Rittenhouse, I was watching it live.
Yeah,
There's a podcaster that I follow all the time. God dang it, I can't think of his name right off. But he he went to a lot of them protests all around the country and videoed them live. CJ was his name, CJ. And I watched that Kyle Rittenhouse, watch him do that live, and I'm like, I woke my wife up. I'm like, you're not gonna believe what's happening. But you know, it was okay for him to post that and put that on there, and you know, but if we put on our opinions or what we think's happening, or if we say like if we post our opinions about the vaccine and the COVID, you know, we got shadow banned.
yeah,
So it's like if it don't go along with their narrative, then they don't want to hear from us and they're going to block us.
right. And I'll be the first one to say, I'm sure they are, but they don't, and it's only because they don't want the citizen journalists, us, to see how well we're doing here. Because again, like you just said, it goes against their narratives.
Right.
And they don't want people to see it. But to me, it just makes it, I just work harder.
Do you remember a guy that was he lived in Washington, D.C.? His name was Richard, citizen journalist. Do you ever remember watching him?
I remember, I didn't watch him very often, but I remember him, yeah.
I'm actually good friends with him. I have his phone number. I called him. I've been in a bunch of Trump rallies and stuff with him. When he was living up there in Washington, D.C., well, he's not now. He's been traveling all over. I think he's in Arizona now because he got arrested because he posted some things that the government up in D.C. didn't want us to see. You know, like the Blackhawks landed on the Capitol lawn, for example. That's never happened in American history that I ever know of. And he actually was there, witnessed it, and filmed it. You know, there's a couple other things. And I mean, me and him became real good friends, and they've shadow banned him, and he ended up leaving D.C. But I got a lot of my intel up there through him.
I guess at the end of the day, it just makes me think sometimes, is it worth doing all the effort? Is it worth all the groups? Is it worth getting all the broadcasts that people can watch? Is it worth this? Is it worth that? And at the end of the day, I hope it was, but
well, people like you and me, our job was to wake people up because there were so many people that was not awake. And my opinion now is that our job's over because people are awake. People that are still asleep, you're not going to wake them up. They're just so freaking brainwashed or so caught up in what I call the matrix that they're not going to snap out of it. That's my opinion.
I think they're going to snap out a little bit because they're going to realize that the $1,600 you might have to pay for a side of beef from a good local butcher, if you could find all of that meat cut and packaged in a Walmart, it's probably going to cost you $40,000.
I know some people that are still caught up. They still think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is the greatest thing on the planet, and they will fight. I got a cousin that won't even talk to me anymore, and we're first cousins, but she and I was like this, and I haven't heard from her since. She called me right after I got back from D.C. from J6, and she told me I was a white supremacist and a traitor to our country, and she didn't ever want to talk to me again.
I am convinced beyond the shadow of a doubt that they drafted Kamala Harris at the last minute and said to her, we're going to arm you with the 25th Amendment, and we will either tell you when or you will figure out when, and you use the 25th Amendment to kick Joe to the curb, and you become the president, and hopefully he'll do such a great job for the rest of his term that come 2024, he'll be reelected. And something happened, and they said, no, we're not going to let you do that. Because there was all the time that Speaker Pelosi was running around going, we're not looking, and she even said it. I can probably go find video of her in her press conference saying, we're not looking for it again to use it against Donald Trump. She said it several times. We are not looking to use it against President Trump. And, why they didn't do it, I don't know. But, why they didn't do it is, I'm sure, why is like we all like talking about Obama and the time he was on Jimmy Fallon, and he said, if I could find someone who would listen through an earpiece and say whatever I told them to say. And, people tell me I'm crazy when I say that. And I go, I'll find you the clip and you can watch it. But,
he did do that. He did say that. I did see that. Yep.
He did say it. He did say it. But,
another thing that pissed me off, you remember that day when Trump gave that speech up there and Nancy Pelosi, he handed it to Nancy and she ripped it up? How come she wasn't charged with that? That's destruction of government property.
No, it's actually
just on national TV.
Of our property.
Yeah.
We own that.
Another thing that pissed me off yesterday, but Hunter, he went up there and he's supposed to go before the congressional Congress. He went up there and made a statement on Capitol Hill and then turned around, jumped his vehicle and left.
Yeah.
He committed a felony in front of everybody,
I thought I heard he had been indicted in California for something too, Hunter.
I haven't heard that one.
And
my deal is yesterday when I seen that, and he's not been arrested or slapped in cuffs yet. That just shows you how lawless this country is. And as far as I'm concerned, if they can get away with shit like that, shit, we all can. It's lawless. We're lawless. We got a lawless country.
After November, if a Republican is in the White House, we have replaced and cleaned out the DOJ and have someone like maybe Jim Jordan in as Attorney General. You watch how fast Hunter is brought up on all kinds of federal charges, and you watch how he walks away with total immunity by selling out Joe. And that's the only reason why I think the Democrats keep telling him, you don't have to go to these. You don't have to go to these hearings. You don't have to go to this. You don't have to go to that. You can just thumb up the judge and not show up, because they're afraid if he does and the prosecution gets him on the stand, he can't lie, and he's going to have to sell out his father. And the Democrats don't want that, because if he sells out his father's not going to win. Not that
he can lie. That's all they all know is lies. That's all they know is lies.
But Hunter is just as guilty of things that his father, that his father's guilty of. And he's guilty of doing things for his father. The famous, I'm sitting here next to my father, the call to the guy in China, I'm sitting here next to my father who will do whatever he has to do,
And it makes you wonder what Joe has actually done in the past. There's stories about his wife and his daughter getting killed while he was screwing his babysitter, which is now Jill.
Right.
There's all kinds of crap out there, you know.
I
I mean,
just hope one day that they can prove whether or not he is mentally competent. And if he
well,
is, then charge him and do whatever. But
I think he can get away with murder on public TV and that nobody would do anything about it. Look at what Hillary did through all out the years, and Hillary was involved in a lot of stuff, not just Benghazi. There's things that go back.
oh yeah, well she sold
Oklahoma City bombing has to do with evidence that they had in that building against Bill and Hillary.
right. She
I
sold
mean,
our piece of uranium-1 to Putin.
there's just so many, you know. I think I think Joe Biden could probably get on national TV and put a bullet in somebody's head and pull the trigger and get away with it.
People tell me that they think Bill is the smarter one of the two Clintons. Because I always go,
we know who wears the pants in that family.
Well, the pictures of Bill in Monica's dress are pretty funny too. But
yeah, there was always a joke about that. What was that?
I think after that story broke, Hillary sat him down and said, "We're going to do things my way. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you how you're going to do it, and you're going to shut up and do it, because if you don't, I will divorce you as a sitting president. They will bring you up on impeachment, and you will be impeached, and you will probably end up in jail, and this and that and the other stuff." And he probably believed exactly what she said, because Hillary's plan all along was to end up as president one day anyway. But I don't think she'll ever see it.
Oh no, I don't. I think she's already gone.
I think she'll be gone.
I think she already is gone.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Palmer, any final thoughts?
All I can say is be vigilant, watch your six, and bless you all. That's all I can say.
All right. It's my pleasure having you here. We'll be back next Tuesday. You're welcome to that. Don't forget, tomorrow's Friday, the American Rebellion over on Rumble. There it is. Join Jerry Michaels on the American Rebellion on Rumble, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And there's the link, rumble.com/amreb/live.
I will say one more thing. I hope everybody has blessed holidays, and I want everybody to be careful, because I think there's something might happen, and everybody needs to watch everything around them.
All right. All right, Stephen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I thank you for having me, and we'll see you next time.
All right, we'll see you on Tuesday.
God bless you.
All right. Let's see, Palmer, Stephen Palmer. You see him on Facebook, and follow him around when you get that off the screen. But like I said, tomorrow, the American Rebellion, the Friday edition, 7 p.m. Eastern over on Rumble. You see the link all over Facebook. I'll have it posted in the groups tomorrow. Like I said at the beginning, the 4 groups that got handed to us, and I don't understand why. I don't know if Facebook handed them to us or how they exactly came to us, but they are 4 conservative groups that we did some cleaning on, and they seem to be running okay, and people are joining them. Conservatives Worldwide, Congressional Accountability Committee, Friends Who Like Red Flag News, and New Republic News 2023. Take a look around at those. I think 2 of them are private, 2 of them are public. Take a look around and join them. And if you join them, invite your friends to come and join. And live well and prosper. I want to thank Jane O'Malley for watching, Alan McMillan for watching, Robert Lawless, the Minnesota Madman, is about to leave the building. Thank you for watching, Robert. And scroll back up. Karen Hackley, my buddy from Texas, joined late, but better late than not watching us. But Karen always watches the podcast If she misses the live, she even puts her comments into the podcast. And we have to go back and watch what she said and make sure we're doing whatever she suggested. Michael Anthony, you see his black and white posts in the Facebook news feed. Take those, share them, think about them in groups that you're in on your own profile, and become his friend on the Michael Anthony page. And if he does go live, which is rare these days, but if he does go live, you'll know, and you should watch. And Randy Rhodes was way up in the beginning watching. Don Smithers, our technical advisor, doesn't get paid very well, but we appreciate his help every once in a while. Larry Burns from Canada, which means we were international tonight. And David Moon, Max was here from London, so we were on both ends of the world. Robin Brunson, our buddy, was watching, and I think Daryl Rector was here and watching. Danny Campbell, who's watched more Boogie with the Bull broadcast than Boogie with the Bull has watched our own broadcast, was here, and that just about covers everything. So live well, prosper, double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast has come to an end. One more time, double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end, and it should end right about